Hello, my name is Lucas. This is Bit of Lit. I'm here to talk about Bloodchild from Octavia E. Butler's 1995 Bloodchild and Other Stories, a short story collection. I've been talking about all the short stories in this collection. I talked about Amnesty first last year in November or so. I talked about the Book of Martha a week or so ago, last week, and now I'm talking about Bloodchild, which is a Hugo Award-winning, a Nebula Award-winning short story, and like Octavia E. Butler is just incredible. I am so upset that I did not find her sooner. I've heard about her for so long. And just never gotten around to her, but it's like she just doesn't miss. She's so good at her craft. This short story is about a planet that is colonized by humans, and when they get there, there is another form of intelligent life. And humans don't recognize the form of intelligent life as intelligent, nor do the intelligent life on the planet recognize humans as intelligent life. Because these aliens here are they look like kind of small worms. They seem to be like centipedes, actually. Because they have multiple limbs, and when they walk around, there's a lot of, I don't know if you can hear that, clicking and clacking and all that kind of stuff. And when they first get there, they find a bunch of small ones and just think nothing of it and crush them, because humans are genocidal maniacs. But some of them or at least grew to be full-sized and were much bigger. And humans, in a way, even though they have colonized the planet, do not take over and have full resources. They're put on reservations, basically, and kind of treated like cattle. It's not quite a story about slavery, as Octavia Butler discusses in her afterword. She says, "It amazes me that some people have seen Bloodchild as a story of slavery. It isn't. It's a number of other things, though. On one level, it's a love story between two very different beings. On another, it's a coming-of-age story in which a boy must absorb disturbing information and use it to make a decision that will affect the rest of his life." Now, the reason this book is, this story, I suppose the book as well, is called Bloodchild, is because the boy in question here, his name is Gan, and he is with his family, and on this reservation, it seems like one of the main sources of food are sterile eggs from the centipede creatures. But when they do have fertile eggs that will grow into more, they're procreating, those are implanted into humans to grow. And when it's time for those eggs to mature and hatch and all that, the centipede must help the human by making this thing for the human to have pain relief, and also make sure that basically the child does not eat the host body from the inside out. Gan has Tagatoi, who is one of these centipede alien creatures, and is kind of like a family friend and has known his mother since the beginning. Not the beginning, since childhood. And they've grown together, even though, you know, Tagatoi was a very small centipede worm thing, is now much bigger and holds them all to be close and warm and all that. In the house, it's time for Tagatoi to have a child, and a long time ago, the mother promised one of her children will be the host. Unfortunately, she doesn't want her son to be the one. She doesn't really want any of her children, but especially not her son, Gan. Unfortunately for Gan, he happens to see what goes wrong, what happens when the centipede isn't around to facilitate bringing the child out of the host body. And it is thoroughly disturbing to him, because it's just information that he should not have seen, basically, something he shouldn't have seen with the way things work on this planet. And it shocks him and horrifies him, and he freaks out, and he goes to get a gun and threatens Tagatoi. But he does, in a way, it feels like a little bit like Stockholm Syndrome in a way. Maybe not. That's just how I read it. I could, maybe because I was so creeped out by this idea, but it seems he really does care about Tagatoi, or tells himself he does. He decides that he will be the one to be the host because he doesn't want his sister to Hoa, H-O-A, Ho? I don't think it's Ho, I think it's Hoa, Hua, or something, to be the one to go through that. Even though she hasn't seen it, his sister would be glad for this to happen. And it's interesting because it's a story about a man becoming pregnant and making that choice for love, and making that sacrifice too, because they do have a conversation. Tagatoi says, well, she's meant to carry young, and Gan says, yeah, human young, something along those lines. And yeah, I mean, when I was reading it at first, I thought it was about slavery in a way, because of the way that the humans are there. But the more I thought about it, I can see why it's not, definitely. It does kind of have the vibe, but not quite. It definitely feels like it's about gender and about love and sacrifice and these kind of things, and what you do for your family, and true horrors of family, I guess. And it is just, it's an incredible story, really. And it's so far removed and alien in a way that it's still easily accessible, and like, you can put yourself into it, and you can really stretch your mind in a way to really consider these kind of things. Like, what would push someone to, how far would you go to protect people, even though they're gonna be okay, but because of things you've seen, in a way, it's almost like he is traumatized, and he doesn't want that to happen to anybody else, especially someone he loves. So even though it should be safe, I guess, if the centipede isn't there. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, maybe it's also slightly about trauma, but mostly about love and family and gender, and it has this interesting role reversal of parenthood, and I just think she's made it so alien and so unique, and made a really brilliant way to show all of these ideas. And I'm sure there's even more to it than I'm realizing, but it's excellent. I recommend this collection so far. This short story has been great. Amnesty was excellent as well. And so was the Book of Martha. I look forward to the next story, which will be The Evening and the Morning and the Night. So until then, thank you.